This training video is going to cover how to schedule showings. We're going to use a couple different systems. The first system we're going to use is the MLS. The second one is your Google Calendar integrated with Mine. And third one's going to be email. You might use text messaging as well if we've figured out how to do that. So let's begin. How to schedule showings. You're going to get an email from me like this, formatted this way every time. It's going to have the name of the client, the date of the showings, the start time of the showings, and a list of properties. The very first property will always be the one that I want to begin the showings at. That is important, and you will come to understand why once we get into this. So let's start. 536 Waterscape Way. So if you look that up in the MLS, we get one match on that. You can click into it. First thing we want to check is this a gated community? So down here, it should tell you under the HOA if it is a gated community. This one is not. You don't see anything there. You should also see this when we go to schedule the showing, but it sometimes is missed by the listing agent, so I just want you to double check it. Up here you have the status bar with all these icons. This one is for showing time, schedule a showing. So click that. And that's going to open up the showing time window. We're going to create a showing cart for the client. Okay, you might already have tours here. This one is for John Smith, but it's on a different day. So we're going to create a new showing cart and then click next. Select the day. Select the client. If the client is not there, you can add a new client. That is added now. Okay, refer back to the email. Select the second property, 14300 Abington Heights. So you go back to the search, 14300 Abington Heights. You don't have to type the whole word in. Once you get far enough along where it's the only one that matches, you can click, it'll pull it up. We click schedule a showing. We add that to the showing cart. Remember to get the right one. And then click next. That will add the tour. And the last showing on this email, 14131 Paradise Tree. Pull it up, click schedule a showing. And showing cart. Now, I know these neighborhoods, so I know they're not gated, but please check to see if it's a gated community when you come in here. I need to make sure that I have gate access if we're coming up on a gate. So now we've got this handy dandy map. Okay, it just so happens that these are in order, but if we switch this around, then we've got 1, 2, 3, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to travel in that order. So you want to make sure the first one is on top from the email, and then click on Smart Route. It's going to calculate the route. It's also going to calculate over here your time frame that it's going to take you to drive from house to house, which was also very important. Okay, so we'll come back to that later. Go back to the MLS, okay, and we're going to pull up in this order now, not the order in the email, but in this order to schedule the properties. So the first one is 536 Waterscape Way. Click on schedule a showing. I'm going to pull this back up. Click on, this time you're going to click on schedule a showing instead of showing cart. And it gives you directions to call or text Chelsea. In this, you're going to have multiple options. It might tell you to call or text somebody. It might tell you no instructions. it might tell you call the listing agent. If it says no instructions, it's blank, or it says call the listing agent, then call the listing agent to schedule it, or send them an email or a text. If it lists a phone number, then go through that phone number. If it says that it's on ELB or electronic lockbox, or gives you a lockbox combination and instructions, then follow those instructions. So here it's going to say text Chelsea. So I want you to copy this. Now you're going to go over to the calendar, and I'm already going to have this appointment set up for you on my calendar. So you can open it up, click the pencil to modify it, and underneath here you're going to paste the showing instructions and type showing instructions here. Okay, and then you're going to follow them. Okay, and let's say you reached out to Chelsea. Chelsea said no problem, you're set for 10 a.m. You can put confirmed 10 a.m. Okay. Actually, when you request it, request a time slot. So for that first property, you can say 10 to 10:30. And then after that, we'll want 1 hour slots, and I'll show you how to do that. The next property, $14,300 Abington. Come back in here like you did before, schedule a showing. This time we're going to click schedule a single showing. And you've got a lot of instructions here. So it says, please click on showing button. You did that by getting here. Please call or text the listing agent for showing. It has the gate code, so this one is gated. And then electronic lockbox. Feedback is appreciated. So copy this, go back to the calendar, paste it in the calendar, showing instructions before it. Okay, and then you can text or call the listing agent and let them know to expect us. Now this is when your time frames come into play here. So if you go back to showing cart, which is here, let's say you lost this, there is a way to get back, I'll show you. Go back to the beginning of the stellar matrix where you have all of the options. Go to showing time. If you can't get back to the matrix, you can go into any property and just click showing time. And then go to showing cart. No, actually that does not work. You're going to have to go into showing time from this one. Don't worry about this if it says it, say remind me later. Go to showings and showing cart. Then click on the appropriate client and day and open it up. And it'll be right here for you. So, smart routes. You'll have to re-click smart route if it disappeared, and you've got your time frame. So it's a short drive, an 8-minute drive from house 1 to house 2. So don't worry too much about changing the time frame. When you go to request this one, request it at the same time as the first one, and then an hour later. So the instructions are here. You can call the listing agent and request a showing from 10 to 11 on the 28th. Let's say you got a hold of them. They confirmed 10 to 11 a.m. and you move on to the next one. If you did not get a hold of them, then following up should be on your task list. You can also send them an email and copy me on it, so that way if you're not in the office when they respond, I will see it. More important for showings that are the following day, less important if they're further out. Do this again for our last property. 14131. It's the only one. Paradise Tree. Showing time. Schedule a single showing. And this time the showing time pops up. So this is a pretty easy system to use. You're going to click here, 10 a.m. Okay, it's going to pop up. Make this for an hour if it's available. It will not always be. If they don't let us do an hour window, then you'll have to go back and modify this for approximately when you think I'm going to get there. it would be 10 minutes or so per showing plus the drive time. For this one, if I had a half an hour window, I would do 10:30 to 11. If I had only a 15-minute window, I would do 10:45 to 11. Use your best judgment on this, and just let me know. It'll be in the calendar as well when I review it. So I'm not going to click on this because I don't want to actually schedule a showing and have people get out of their house. But let's say we clicked on this. We're going to get a couple emails that I'm going to see. And then if they confirm the showing, you get an email confirmation. So showing time. There are no instructions, but the instructions will be in the email. So when you get the email back, you can then put them into the calendar. But let's just say confirmed 10 to 11 a.m. And the showing instructions said that it was vacant, or it said confirmed, and it's on the electronic lockbox, and there's no gate. Okay? So now you would have scheduled all of those. Make sure you save the calendar. Okay, and then for your report, I want you to come back into the calendar, copy all of the notes for the properties, and you can respond to the email and put the notes right here in the body, and then any specific notes that you might have below that. If you weren't able to book anything, or if you weren't able to book a property or get a confirmation, please note that for every property. And that wraps up how to schedule a showing through the MLS.